Terrarian in the Dungeon, Chapter 76, Fan Fiction, by Azazyel. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for listening and patreon.com/Azazyel to read all of his stories. To say the least, when the girls opened up the Brain of Cthulhu bag after killing the boss, their faces twisted in disgust as though or crafting material, being tissue samples which were baseball-sized blobs of pulsating flesh, was disgusting. And the Fargo soul item for the boss, being the gutted heart, was also disgusting as it was a basketball-sized heart with lava-like veins running through it and constantly pulsating with the heart beating. Yeah. I'd rather keep the slimy shield within me and not have that. Belle said with her face shuddering at the thought of having the still-beating heart put inside her. Likewise, Phyllis didn't want anything to do with the gutted heart, nor the other fleshier Fargo's soul items that came from bosses. I would be happy with the queen bee stinger. She offered, blushing, and I just shrugged, as so long as she was willing to use something, I didn't care. I understood that even if they were badass warrior ladies, they were still girls at the end of the day. And girls inherently wouldn't like the idea of a still-living eye that looks around to be pushed into their chest and merged into their soul. The girls then gave me the drops they didn't want as I pushed the gutted heart next to the other Fargo Souls items in my soul, so now as I fueled the mini-eater of worlds that flew beside me, I also had small flying brains that were flying beside me that made the girls shudder at the sight of them. Alright, girls, I think that's been enough fun for now, right? I asked, and the two girls nodded, with Belle nodding much more enthusiastically as she was clearly getting low on mine from overusing her magna cannon. Phyllis and Belle then grabbed hold of me so I could teleport them back, with Belle actually hugging me around my chest, but Phyllis, being a lewd elf, held my wrist and blushed at the minor skin contact. Okay, Jake, teleport us back. I need to talk to Hestia as well. Belle said happily, and I smiled at her infectious cheer at having killed the boss, but I couldn't help the nagging feeling about how the girls just never saw or heard the Empress of Light saying anything. Once I teleported the girls back, I stepped back from the Belle, who pouted at being released from the hug, and I looked at Phyllis for a moment before nodding, and I began speaking. Girls, I am going to be out for a couple of hours as I need to do a couple of things, so don't cause any trouble, I said jokingly to Belle, more than anything, and she just rolled her eyes and then her expression lit up. Jake, can me and Phyllis go into the dungeon or something? I want to test some of your extra magic weapons in storage over there. She asked, and I shrugged as honestly, I didn't care. Go ahead, just don't get in trouble and stick with Phyllis, I said, giving the elf a look, and she nodded silently, promising to take care of the white-haired albino lest she be tricked into some kind of alleyway with how adorable she could be. Then, once the girls left my bedroom, I sighed as I organized my thoughts about this whole Empress of Light situation. Did I care? Should I even follow her words and put myself in more danger? I thought before it struck me that to all those prior questions was a resounding yes. In the end, I did care, and although I didn't want to die obviously, I still wanted to grow stronger so I no longer had to fear Evelyn coming to slap my head off my shoulder should they get bored. Or worse for my conscience, begin targeting my friends even more. So with that settled, I looked to see how I could get stronger, and the largest amount of strength I could realistically gain at this point was combining my slimy shield, agitating lens, queen's stinger, and when I get it, Skeletron's necromantic brew into the supreme Deathbringer fairy accessory that will combine all four accessories into a single one that's even stronger than all four of them should be due to all the boss's souls being merged together with Hellstone bars and a new mana source. I will need to make called Deviating Energy. With the supreme Deathbringer fairy and Hellstone armor, I think that I will almost be ready to fight the wall of flesh. So, if I want to get at Hellstone ingots, I need to go directly to talk to someone I really didn't want to. Well, time to go see if Freya's adventures actually did go to the dragon base and get me any materials, I muttered as I left my bedroom, and after talking with Seshet and Beatrice for a bit and making out with the latter as she walked me out off the property. While I was heading towards Freya's mansion, I was also noting down how I could upgrade from my magna cannon to a stronger magic weapon, along with just more weapons in general, depending on how much materials Freya's adventures managed to get me. Oh God, I just remembered I am going to have to do a bunch of fishing. I cursed as my mind reminded me of the crafting recipes that required me to actually fish out crates and other things to get certain weapons and accessories. Well, this could be the perfect excuse to go on a good vacation as Hestia and the rest want to do, I muttered as I turned around the corner of the wealthy section of Ororio I was in and saw the Freya's Familia Mansion Folkvanger in the distance, and standing guard in front of the gate was one of the level's 5 Gulliver brothers.